Coucou everyone, my name is Tatiana Spiteri. You are watching blog Eurovision. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's time to discuss the second semi-final of Eurovision 2025 and who has the biggest chance to make it to the grand final and who has a little bit smaller chance but still has a lot of potential to make it to the final, maybe depending on the staging or vocal power. Let's go. I will start with my 100% qualifiers, based partly on my opinion, partly on the Eurovision scoreboard, partly on the overall kind of expectation and the previous history of the country in Eurovision a little bit as well. And from there on, we will go to likely qualifiers. Let's take a look. Maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong. I usually guess about 8 or 9 of potential qualifiers. Exactly how they go in the running order, I will be naming my 100% qualifiers. If I haven't named the country that you saw before on the list, that means that probably I think it still needs something to make it to top 10, maybe, or I do not have such strong belief in it. We'll talk about it later. So my number one, I believe qualifier, is Ireland, and like a party in the sky. I hope like I never died and that she's been surrounded still, and that she hasn't. Even though this is not like to every kind of taste, this is not my particular, taste in music. I will not be listening to like a party, like neither on the radio nor in my headphones or on Spotify, but it's more like universally, likable, like simple and catchy and easy to remember than many songs in this semi-final. It's not maybe as visually arresting, of course, as Bambi Thug last year. Yes, it is hard to compare those, absolutely not. Apples and oranges, and the song is quite basic, let's call it what it is, but it is, it is memorable and it is catchy and all this bum 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 bum. You will remember it. I've noticed that even though it's not like my cup of tea per se, like I remember the song so much that sometimes I just, walk and repeat this bum bum part. And who doesn't like a bum bum or na 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 or c'est la vie la 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 in Eurovision? Now, she's a charming girl. You must say that, absolutely. And again, she has this universally likable appearance, Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing you don't like about Amy herself. Now, the bags, this walking, marching guys, like the pictures of astronaut and her dancer kind of just moving this, it is not that fun, and I hope they change it. I hope they come up with a little bit alternative staging. I don't think it needs like massive staging. It needs a little bit more tasteful staging, a little bit more like kind of, making you want to groove, vibe to it kind of staging. It doesn't mean that it will not be liked by, teens, younger voters. And now that all the voting is done on Eurovision app and no longer like calling or through broadcaster, that also tells you that, this voting categories, age categories have changed in the recent years. And so there might be a lot of younger votes, just like with Norway's lighter. I will be my own lighter. Let us move on to my second 190% qualifier, and that is Austria, JJ, of course. Now, he is already the winner of the Eurovision scoreboard with 60,000 people voting on the official, scoreboard app. You can check it out. The newest statistics of April 25 shows that Austria has, superseded Kai and their sauna song. And there are reasons why. It's the vocals, of course. It's the heartfelt song. It's the whole visuals of the music video, which will surely be translated well on Basel stage. It's this flawless kind of delivery. And at the end, when he takes this very high notes after the party part, he goes like, oh my God, I don't know, it's goosebumps. Now, many say that it's a copy of Nemo's The Code, which won last year, just because of some longer, higher pitches. I don't think so. Maybe it's just me, but, Nemo is not an academic singer. He's this pop, a little bit of rap kind of singer with a few high notes. While, JJ is he's a professional opera singer. He sings in Viennese opera. Have you seen that building? OMG. Just passed it the other day going for Easter weekend to Vienna. And that is a different cookie. you know, even though he looks like you're, you know, kind of, you look at him, you're like, oh, this like my peer, my buddy, my guy, you know. But then you see him on stage with, you know, this like short king with the mic, and he blows your roof off. Like, for operatic vocals, it's maybe not, you know, that outstanding. I want to hear what vocal teachers have to say about him. But for, you know, Eurovision, and comparing all the opera songs we've already had in Eurovision, this has a lot of advantage, you know, in terms of, you know, not getting bored because there is this techno part at the end. Then again, kind of regaining control. And when you think, oh, but it's just like a haha song, then at the end he again kills you with this powerful vocal, right? And it's just and he's just so lovable. Can we just say that? Just like Norwegian Kyle, he is super, super, super lovable, yeah. And he might even win the semi-final easily. Yeah. Speaking of which, Nemo, last 2 years winner, you know, Nemo, I heard, are helping JJ and Austria to stage their performance this year. That tells me something. I've heard there will be some boats and some maybe water, just like in the music video. He's like kind of, you know, crawling, fighting for his life, you know, through thick and thin, through the rain and stuff. And while the video is more like the AI, I think actually this Eurovision will also be partly with those effects. You know, like the staging will probably be very centered, you know, around water, drowning, crawling, a little bit of Titanic, I think, kind of feel. That is my second definite qualifier. My third definite qualifier in the running order as we go is, of course, Greece. Greece, Asteromata Klavdia. Oh, it was hard for me to learn to say not Klavdia, but Klavdia. Klavdia girl. Great singer. She looks amazing, stunning. And there's something just so, like, you know, noble, like so respectable about her. Maybe it's the outfit, it's her posture. Have you seen that? It's exactly the posture of the Viennese opera girl, but she's not operatic, she's a pop singer, but she delivers it in such a way that you believe her, you know, that you understand, okay, this is not just to discard. This is something serious, this is something to reckon with. And the only thing here is that even though the chorus is memorable, I noted to myself that it's kind of hard to know for non-Greek speakers what the song is about. So Greece definitely needs to work on, not just bombastic staging. They know how to do great staging, but how to deliver the message, you know, how to make people understand that this is about longing for your homeland. Did you even know that it's longing for a homeland, that about losing your kind of, a feeling of detachment from your roots, losing yourself a little bit because you lose your roots, your homeland. Like, you have to show it somehow. Yeah, give her that boat and, the distance, show us that kind of, like longing for something you cannot reach, tear-jerking kind of visuals, I don't know, in the back or something. And this is in Greek. So this has to be explained. This has to be understood. Next, I'll talk about two ladies at the same time and two 1,000,000% qualifiers. That is Malta and Finland. That is Mirjana Conte and Erika Wickman. Both queer girls, both already chatting on the video chat, with each other. Do check out those videos. They're hilarious and fun. I don't think we've seen Eurovision with that many, friends in between, sort of relationships in between. And they are now in the community scoreboard of Eurovision, taking 3rd and 5th place at the same time. I mean, respectively. Finland is on the 3rd and Malta overall on the 5th. That tells you how much people love it, even though Eurofans have listened to the same songs again and again and again on repeat for so many times, that songs which kind of grow on you but then, fall down, like drop, they're already out of here, And these songs are here to stay and to slay. And both girls own the stage. Mirjana is this kind of confidence and voice. Erika is confidence plus staging, stage presence, and just like, I'm the queen of the world, who has a doubt? Speaking of which, speaking of staging, if you know Russia's like one of most prominent maybe Eurovision artists prominent because every year he used to go to Eurovision. That is Philipp Kirkorov, one of the biggest Russian pop stars of recent decades. Recently stole Erika Wigman's staging with the mic, with the fireworks shooting out of it. And then he went a step further, and during his recent performances, he invented some kind of jacket while standing on this mic. He's in a jacket which shoots fireworks, and then in one of the recent shows in St. Petersburg, he burned himself. OMG. Those videos are everywhere, and they're like hard to watch, as he continues singing the song. Somehow he continued singing the song till the end, and of course the concert was stopped, and you could see that the smoke is coming out of his, hands, so some sparkles from the jacket got into under his sleeve. That was hard to watch. I can imagine how hard it was to sing in that state and not to just, he screamed of pain like several times during the performance. Whew, that tells me, Erika, you should be careful with staging. Yeah, obviously, I believe it will be similar to what it was in the national selection, because it shouldn't really need a lot more than that. While Malta needs to definitely step up with the staging and put in, PBS, put in that, increase your budget. Mirjana is worth it. Absolutely worth it. Give it to me, I'm worth it. Mirjana is worth it. Yeah, she will be serving, but she needs your support to serve the best of the best Mediterranean and Maltese pastize. Let's move on to my next 100% qualifier, and that is Denmark. Even though some doubt that Cécile will make it to the final, I do not, and I'll tell you why. Because it's very melodic as a track, it's memorable, and as I said, there are not every song in this semi is memorable and outstanding in terms of melody and construction, It's simple, it's melodic, it reminds of Loreen very much, yeah. And the voice is so commanding that, stage presence as well. But let's first talk about the voice, because when I was, watching, let's say with one eye, the national selection in Denmark, I was doing something, and then my attention was drawn instantaneously, to the screen, and she held me for the rest of the performance. Like, she holds you, she grabs you, and she holds you, I don't know whether Denmark is gonna invest into staging. They sometimes don't, and they sometimes do not even see how potentially they could make the staging, stand out. And even if they don't, I think she can make it, because she moves a lot, and I think she will be moving. She likes moving on stage, but her vocals remain stable, remain unchanged. Bravo. I've seen a lot of performances of her in this pre-parties of Eurovision. There wasn't even one where she did, others are like, oh, I'm sick, my voice, like, she slays it every time. She kills it, nails it, hands down. And the only thing is that I would really think of a visual, kind of increasing her visual likability in terms of the outfit. Not everybody was a fan of her, tight body outfit in the national selection and pre-parties. I think there is something to work with designers on really, bombastic kind of visuals as well, because she's already outstanding vocally. Make her stand out and tastefully, also in terms of visuals, not only on the red carpet. Yeah. Once in the final, I think Cécile will be so supported by the jury. I think jury will be rooting for her. I think they must appreciate these vocals. They don't have a choice. And I don't have a choice but to put Czechia as my next 100% qualifier. Adonis, oh my god, you should see him live, guys. I was in Malta Eurovision Song Contest this year, live, all semifinals and stuff. And when I saw him perform, I could not believe it. You don't even associate this kind of I can dance, I can move, hey girl kind of guy, but it really it's something else when you watch it live. He commands, he grabs your attention. He's super, in control of his voice. He sounds like this velvety, I don't know, young Sinatra or something. And when you watch it and when you hear it, you your mind is a little bit in dissonance, I would say. Just like when you watch JJ of Austria, you're putting in this guy who's just doing this dance break, for example, and this voice, and this seriousness. It's like he produces a very mature impression, despite what he looks like in just his pictures on Instagram or whatnot. When you first see, oh, that's okay, the guy representing Czechia, like we can discard him. No, you can't. No, you can't. I have goosebumps every time I hear him perform live in pre-parties, even on the video, even on YouTube, you know. And I do not have many goosebumps this year, only from 3 countries I've noticed. It's Austria, Malta, and Czechia. Like, if either of them wins, I will be so happy. Yes, I just named my top 3 this year, in case you haven't noticed. And the last 100% qualifier of the semi for me is Israel. Yuval, we have to give her that, you know, like Eurovision is often called like fast food music, as Salvador Sobral of Portugal, former winner, that he said we live in the world of this, you know, fast food music. He doesn't want to be Eurovision to always be like so na, you know. And Yuval, like, is this example, like the song, you know, New Day Rising, New Day Will Rise, is like so well written, so sophisticated, so, you know, thought out. Like, it's not boring, it's sung in 3 languages, but it has consistency at the same time. Something that, for example, in Erika's song from Finland, I do not have that much, like, or in UK's, you know, like, I remember Monday, I do not have this like super consistent flow. Here, it's like, it super smoothly goes from one part to the other, and to the verses, and to the choruses, and to the bridge. And it's like, it's a whole composition. It's just very well made track, very well sung, powerful vocals. Nice music video visuals. I'm sure, you know, Israel always invests into staging, and, you know, for a reason. But one thing I have to say is that they need to tell the story that she's talking about. She has this very personal story of surviving in an attack, in a terrorist attack, hiding under, you know, like some, like among some dead bodies, and pretending to be dead for like 8 hours so that she's not shot, you know, and not killed. And how to really make it explained on stage, how to deliver that Israel will, well, already probably thought about, and they're going to show us. It should be like a world in which they immerse us for 3 minutes, and after which you go like, oh my god, like you watched a movie, like a psychological thriller or something. They have to give us this universe of Yuval, you know what I mean? So from those 100% qualifiers to maybe qualifiers with high potential. I'll tell you why. I think it's potential, not yet 100% in my mind. And first of all, it's Australia and Gojo, our milkshake man, who is opening the second semi. Now, if you've seen my reaction to Gojo's song, it's not the type of song that I would normally listen to, and it is generic. Let's call it what it is. It is generic. The lyrics appeal to some, not to everyone. I understand the play, okay. Yeah, but he's opening, he's a ball of energy, 100%. You have to give him that. And he is opening Eurovision, and that energy is needed. It's expected. It's like boom, boom, boom kind of, guy. He surely can elevate even a basic or generic or simple song to, you know, the level that you will never forget, you know, especially with the staging. But what concerns me is that his moves in pre-parties are more about thrusting, you know, okay, thrusting can be, you know, his signature move and stuff, but he is opening the show, and EBU knows that. They chose him to open the show. That means that since it's kid-friendly time, you know, it's 9 p.m., he will have to dial down, you know, on the provocativeness. It's not Malta or Erika Wigman who they placed last to perform, you know. He has to definitely, you know, the team probably made it like, thought of it as more of a like, how can we make it kids friendly, but with these hints and appeals to, you know, sexy content. But if he keeps on thrusting throughout the whole performance, it will turn off a lot of viewers. And at this, you know, we remember Ole Alexander's, you know, last result, and it will definitely not be encouraged by EBU as well, in a way, you know. So we know how EBU was even saying that Erika Wigman's performance is too provocative and too much, you know. So obviously they know what kind of staging Australia is preparing, and I believe that all we will see probably is some, you know, kind of ice cream truck at the beginning. He might be jumping out of it, and then, hey, I'm the driver of the ice cream truck. Do you want some milkshake, guys, you know.
Get you high when you're oh so sad. It's the milk from the milkshake man.
It will probably look a little bit, it might look, I don't know, a little bit childish, a little bit more on junior side. I want it to be more mature, you know. The Voyager, we remember from Australia, also had the car on stage. And yeah, I do believe that Gojo will use a car as well, this ice cream truck, yeah, milkshake truck. But it worked for the Voyager because it was, you know, rock. In this case, we're talking about a very poppy song. And I just don't want it to be like extremely cheesy. I think you get what I'm saying. Like the song is what it is, yeah, like, but I don't want the staging to be like super, super cheesy and super, super like kind of where it becomes like tasteless because it is too kind of, you know, on the kids and cheesy side. You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. So they have to work on the staging, and we'll see whether we want a second helping of that milkshake. Do we? Moving on to my potential qualifier, although the more I see the pre-parties, the more I'm like on the edge. It's Armenia and Park.
I'm a survivor, won't be tired up.
Again, a generic, very for Eurovision written song, you know, and the lyrics also kind of questionable. We all know that stay aliver is not an existent word, you know. Some expressions just don't make much sense, like break from the pain. Okay, take your place. What do you mean by take your place? Like stand for who you are, stand your ground. Say stand your ground, you know. Do not just make something up for the rhyming. But the song is a little bit alien to him, I would say, but somehow he manages to sell it, and that I respect very much in him. And yeah, his pronunciation and enunciation in English isn't so good, but he's working on it. You know, when it doesn't work much, when, you know, the parts of the lyrics become very like fast, you know, fast-paced, intricate. For example, he goes kicking me, breaking me, but I would stop. Like, you cannot hear how he pronounces that, you know, like pushing me, pulling me, I will get up. Like, you know, it becomes just a mess, you know. And with the lyrics behind him and pre-parties, it worked much, much better. I hope they're going to use that also on the Eurovision stage somehow. Why not? It's allowed, you know. And at the same time, I have to say, amazing stage presence. Like, he studied to be an actor, and you can see that. He belongs on stage, you believe him, even though the song is nothing special, the vocals are quite weak, let's call it what it is. And like, at least he is able to, you know, to deliver it, you know, with this strength, with the power. You can see that he's really like a fighter, you know. Probably he, you know, has had this, you know, everybody has had these moments when they had to push through, and he manages to deliver that. Likability factor also is something. Do not forget that, guys. I think he will appeal to non-LGBT community, to straight community very much. And he's also this ball of energy like Gojo, but in a different way, in a much, much different way. My next potential qualifier, yet I'm a little bit on the edge, it's Lithuania, although I think, of course, of the Baltic countries, it will be Tommy Cash and Espresso Macchiato ruling this year, you know, hands down. But Catharsis has, you know, some potential to make it to the final. I think what might happen is that they might finish 11th, either 10th or 11th. I want to know how it plays out, because there are too many repetitive parts in the song, you know, and the last part is quite annoying with like 1 minute of Tavo, Tavo, Tavo. You start going nuts, it becomes a bit psychedelic. It's very doom kind of sound, you know, and yeah, it immerses you into the world, you know, of, you know, their song, but it's very, yeah, it's kind of doom, it's very dark, and I'm actually a fan of dark wave kind of music too, but this for some reason doesn't appeal to me enough, I think, so that I would vote for it to go to the final. So that's what might happen with many as well. But I do know there are a lot of lovers, a lot of supporters of this song, and many believe it's the best rock song in this Eurovision. You know, why not? It really, we'll see how it plays out. There isn't much to stage there in terms of, you know, how rock bands are usually staged, unless you're Lordy, hard rock, hallelujah. And might be, again, highly likely, but at the same time, I have my doubts. It's Luxembourg passing to the final. Laura, probably pronounced Thorn. I believe she's not Thorn, but Thorn. You know, I'm not convinced yet 100%, but she has this likability factor. She's like Amy, like a party in the sky, kind of likability girl, sort of universally likable, you know. She kind of got lower community ranking recently in the Eurovision scoreboard, but it doesn't mean necessarily that the average Eurovision viewer, you know, doesn't think that, you know, it's an interesting staging, it's this kind of antique feel to it. Will it have enough voters? We'll see. But Luxembourg surely has the budget to stage it. They always do. They will not disappoint. And what they might happen is that they just overdo it. I hope they don't overdo it. What do you guys think? Drop a comment below. But the song itself is just a bit, a bit not enough. Even with the right staging, it can also result in the 11th spot. It can also land 11th and simply not make it to the final. And another thing is that it's Denmark. Let me take a look again at the scoreboard. At the running order, it goes Denmark, Czechia, and then right afterwards Israel. These are all qualifying, right? These are all qualifying. I believe that. So Luxembourg is kind of sandwiched in a very vocally strong, part of the second semi. The second part of the second semi is a killer. And who will be the survivor, to stay aliver, so to say, is a good question. And the Serbian prince might be the one who also makes it to the final.
Mila, ti si platila što volim te ja.
He performs closer to the end of the semi. That might help him do it. That might, and miracle might happen, at least one or two ballads usually pass from each semi to the final. This might be the case. We will see. He's such, a ladies kind of Mr. Big guy, what represents, this hairy kind of, not Vikingy type, but, this very likable type for many women to vote for. Not only women, right? And he's like this, probably Tarzan kind of image for many women. Yeah, that we will see women voting for. So it could be this kind of women's vote, ladies' vote, you know what I mean? And who doesn't like a man who sings this romantically, almost a cappella, with a flower in his hand, just for you? Only you. Only you. Prince will be performing Only You. A bit weak song. Definitely. And I did prefer his previous Habibi one in 2023 when Luke Black won in the national selection in Serbia. Yeah, that one could have maybe made a few more waves, I think, even though also a little bit, in its own way. Those are my thoughts. And what do you guys think? Do you agree with my predictions? Drop a comment below. Whew, it's been a lot of my thoughts on who passes from semi-final to the final. I want to know what you guys think. Drop a comment, give me a like, and I'll see you in my future videos. Do buy me a coffee if you think I've deserved one with this video. Thank you. Bye.